everyone. Welcome, welcome again to Elevating Your Life. We are going to just worldwide travel today. We are going to have so much fun. We have with us today Paul Stewart. He is a mind, body, spirit consultant, originally from New Zealand, beautiful country of New Zealand. Paul has been an explorer of the world and consciousness. While working as a trainer, mentor, and energy worker for almost 30 years, he has naturally integrated the gathered tools and wisdoms into his client sessions and small group work. With the understanding that there is always more life, Paul has stepped into various adventures and experiences that have stimulated his growth and expressed his skills and abilities. These include a walk around the world on $58 as a form of initiation, a zenith-like role which he consciously drew out of himself while relaxing in a cafe, writing on a sketch pad, and then to become the private trainer to a billionaire. And 9 years living in Japan, training in two traditional martial arts, evolving with the power and respect of that place. Paul draws on his abilities, experience, light, and natural wisdom to encourage and guide people in their personal alignment of mind, body, and spirit, to offer perspectives and tools of empowerment, and to encourage people to move forward from a point of peace and the acknowledgement that we have it all within us. Oh, Paul, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, thanks a lot, Paula. That sounded quite good, didn't it?
It did. Oh, what a
Oh,
bunch of
yeah.
awesomeness. I love it.
Well, I just want to thank you, Paula, for inviting me, and I also want to greet your wonderful guests today. And what an honor and a privilege it is to just be myself with you guys and speak with you today.
Oh, thank you so much. I would love to have you, if you want to share a little more of your background and kind of dive into, what triggered this story of just heading out around the world with $58 and kind of some of the adventures you had in that.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I've always been listening to the sound of my own drum, so to speak. I grew up in a big family. I've got three brothers, three sisters, all doing well, and mostly in New Zealand. And I've got 32 nieces and nephews, and I've got 12 great nieces and nephews, by the way, which I'm all very proud of. And yeah, I just followed my impulses in life, and I just trusted myself and always believed that whatever I believed, you know. So, like when I was 10, I delivered newspapers. I biked into a gentleman's property and asked him if he'd sell me one of his kayaks. He did. And my mother was horrified when I turned up with this kayak on my shoulder as a 10-year-old boy. So, and there I was involved in a lot of sports. I did well in a few different sports and badminton, the New Zealand summer sport of cricket, soccer particularly, and a little bit of athletics. But and I always had a feeling of just engagement, and I love the feeling of kicking the ball. I could just read it, I could feel it, and generate a lot of power. And it was very, you'd almost use the word therapeutic. So after school, I tried a few different things. I studied a bit, and then I changed my studies for kind of a sports science type diploma and through university. And then I thought, what am I going to do with this? I had no plan. I just felt interested. I felt interested in that topic, and it made sense to me. And I'd started out in teaching, and I just wasn't feeling it in that way. So I changed. And at the end of that, which was 1997, I thought, what can I do with this? And I just came up with nothing. And then I thought, well, I could work in a gymnasium. And I really didn't want to. I don't like the music. I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I've never been a gym person. And I always got fit through my participation and trained myself, out on the field or whatever. And anyway, I started that and I realized I was pretty good at it. And I got very interested in people and started to integrate, I suppose, myself and what I learned, but taking what you learn and then applying it in your own way with your own wisdom. To me, that's a really wonderful thing. And then it evolved into personal training, and I had an Olympian just come in the door by chance, and
Gosh.
I had a couple of New Zealand top triathletes. So I trained them for their strength, and they got good results. And I was just doing it. I wasn't overloaded with theory and whys and you know other people's opinions. I just knew what to do. So um, one Olympian was actually rehabbed to was a New Zealand captain and rehabbed for the Olympics and got New Zealand's first points in the Olympic Games in Sydney. That
Wow.
was so satisfying, you know.
Oh,
But it was at that time, excuse me, that a gentleman came in and just started chatting to me. And I said chatting. I'm sorry, my English sometimes the New Zealand accent. We mumble a little bit. And this gentleman came in. It turned out he was an osteopath and a naturopath. I think he's still practicing and he's probably almost 90, just a little bit now. And he had studied 29 modalities and he really liked me and he did a bit of work on my body and he started teaching me a few things. And he even used to get me to manipulate his ankle because his team couldn't do it the way he wanted. And it sort of opened the door in a way. I read the book Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. It really stimulated me a lot. And,
oh,
you know, I just felt that I let go a lot of stuff at that time and also gained greater understandings. And then I drew a spiritual teacher into my life, a non-physical teacher. And at the same time, I was getting a lot of experience with my healing energies. A little bit prior to that, a few years prior to that, I'd seen translucent light coming out of my thumbs into an elderly woman I was working on. If you had light going through a waterfall, kind of like that. And as soon as you look, it stops because you kind of activate your mind,
yeah.
and you don't see the same. You need that calm mind. I was telling someone yesterday actually about that when I started doing some energy work with people. I used to see a lot. I'd see energy. I'd see hands guiding my hands. I'd have my body move to look at the feet, all sorts of things.
Uh-huh.
And then it kind of, I saw less and less because the knowing was there. I didn't need the evidence.
Hmm.
And actually, that leads in pretty well to the walk around the world I did. So, um, after about 4 or 5 years, things started to just drop away. I had a kind of a message come to me that I'd walk around the world with nothing. I'd walk around India wearing white and all this sort of thing, which I took with a grain of salt. I thought, yeah, okay, I've got an open mind, but I trust myself, so I just listened and okay, noticed that comment. And then a whole lot of things happened. And then I was actually in Coeur d'Alene visiting my friends that live there. And I sat by the lake in the evening and it was very, very tranquil and just on a stony beach. And I was in total peace. And then it just came to me this clarity. I've got to go back from this holiday and I've got to do this walk. So this walk was inspired by another walk, which was just walking home from work one day. And I was very quiet, just walking along. And I got this message that I want to walk around the world with nothing, healing. And actually, the whole saying I'm going to tell you is I'm normally a bit shy to tell people, but the thought that came to my mind was, I want to walk around the world with nothing, healing like Jesus. So,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
or Yeshua as his name is.
Hmm.
And I just, there's a saying that a teacher of mine has often said, listen to the whispers of life. And this really was a whisper. I didn't even quite know I'd had it. It came to me a week later. I realized that that thought became a little more conscious. So within a year, I was actually in Auckland Airport with my sister and her partner, who's now her husband, and a couple of friends saying goodbye to me as I left New Zealand. I had $80, but they took $22 off me for departure tax.
Oh my goodness.
So I know
And off
I'll
you
give you a little summary and you can ask me whatever you want. But basically I went to Singapore for 9 days, India for 5 months, and Spain and Portugal for 3 months. I walked all the way hitchhiking and all sorts of things from Brazil, north of Brasilia, all the way down to Santiago, Chile,
oh
which
my
no, I
God.
would not recommend. But one of the things I realized was our ability to be still and to see what's possible or what's available, or to attract in something that just helps us, or or to be able to live the moment that you're actually living. 'Cause
Yeah.
acceptance is very, very powerful. And it's also an incredible change agent. I think some people think when they think of acceptance, they're going to be stuck with what they accept, but it's not like that at all. It's actually an alignment,
Mhm.
no resistance. And then energy flows because life is always changing, energy is always moving, energy is dynamic. So you're in that space. And from there you can ask yourself, okay, what should I do? Or you can look around, you can add some thoughts like, I accept this moment. I respect this moment. I appreciate this moment. I energize this moment. You can do all sorts of things in a moment.
I love that. I love that. I accept it. I feel it.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
Well, you could even say, I am it.
Yes, I am it. I love it. I
You
love
know,
it. And
because
I can only imagine, Paul, going through these other countries, what you saw, what you did feel, what, your I am it's were. I can imagine what that adventure was.
well, I remember sitting in a place in Spain that comes to mind right now, and it was a little village because I was in the countryside. It's not good to be in big cities with nothing. Most of the time, most of the time, excuse me, I was sleeping under an olive tree in Spain or something like that. And I went into this little village. There's all these ceramic, beautiful little park, very small, tiled a wall of brick, and there's a couple of little olive trees, and I'm sitting on these little steps, just feeling and there's buildings around. I'm just feeling the space. I'm just sitting there. No, I don't think I was thinking anything. I was just sitting there. And all these little school children filed in with their teachers and went over to this wall and all stood around and started singing.
Oh,
And I'll tell you, I think I was in tears. It was so beautiful that, and I think this is life. It's like it is beautiful, it is happening. And then we get so busy and so many goals and purposes and you
mhm.
know we're going somewhere all the time. And someone said to me recently and has reminded me before, to be where you want to be, you got to be where you are.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. You got to be where you are.
Yeah. And sometimes the stress we're carrying is sometimes a little bit of a habit or a little bit of an obligation. Oh, that happened. Oh, I should feel like this, or I feel like this, or no, how do you really feel? Can't you just stand clear and observe and then decide, okay, right, what am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do with this energy? Or what do I feel impelled to do? Or what's natural to me today?
Ah, yes. Yes. And then eventually, you went to Japan. So
Yes.
what drew that decision, Paul?
Well, I'd been living in Kuwait for 5 years, and while I was there, it was suggested to me to look into kendo, which is a Japanese martial art based on kind of sword play, but it's using bamboo slatted, and you wear all the protective stuff, and you hit people in the head and in the side and on the hand and things like that. But it's an incredible. respectful martial art. For example, if you injure someone in a match, then you lose. You have to have a lot of respect and care for each other, and you're really focused on your own development. And I know people will interpret that differently, and each person will put their own stamp on that. So I did that for a year before I went there, but I was a little busy with my clients, so I didn't do a lot. I came via Australia, and then I'd been told that there was something for me in Japan. So when I finished with this big client that you mentioned earlier in the introduction, I finished that contract as the private trainer. And I was really in a position of choice. Do I stay here in Kuwait or this region? I had definitely good connections. I was working at a good level and I had opportunities. And or do I go into the unknown? And Japan was the unknown, from what I could see at the time. I just sensed that there's something for me there. Spirit had said, but no, they don't they don't push it too hard. They don't give it a nudge. It's like, well, here's something there. How do you feel? What do you decide? It's up to you. So it's called free choice and free will, isn't it?
Yes.
So and also empowerment. You get a lot of help, but you still got to make your choices. And so I decided to go into the unknown again. And I came to Australia and New Zealand, visited, had a few clients, so on, and tried to find a way into Japan. And I couldn't. So I couldn't find a way to get a work visa. And I thought, screw it, I'm going. Nothing going to stop me. So I went with probably less than $300 and I volunteered for a children's adventure camp for 6 weeks or something, which got me just, I used it as a catalyst. But I had the most wonderful time, and the children were just beyond belief.
Um,
And every time, every week, it just went up and up. It just got better and better and better. And I really do believe that is life. That is
how
definitely life.
fun. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was incredible. Night swimming, rafting, kayak, canoeing, seeing the glow bugs and fireflies rather, hiking on a deserted ski resort in the trees and oh, it was absolutely incredible. And then on the weekend or one day off in Tokyo, I would go walking by myself. No one wanted to come with me. So I'd just go out. And I found this incredible festival that was mind-boggling. And there were all these high-level performances for free. You just sit there on the chair on the gravel and this at this on this traditional nose stage, they perform.
Oh my
It's unbelievable.
gosh.
It's just I went for 3 days. And yeah, so in a nutshell, what Japan gave me through its incredible power and respect and my own training and my own discipline, I suppose, was an alignment within myself that I can say I'd never experienced before. And then I think a lot of people are finding that they're bringing themselves together more. A lot of light workers and healers and teachers and speakers and people doing jobs in service or working at the restaurant or running a family or whatever it is doesn't matter. The people are feeling they're positioning themselves more. They're positioning themselves more within themselves. And now naturally that's going to be expressed in the world. It's going to be felt in the world. That alignment of, I'd say, mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah. Others do feel it. They do feel the
Oh,
energy
it's
that we're
happened. We're,
and
we're in
and
this energy.
yes. And those children, you gave those children memories that is, with them for the rest of their lives. That is so amazing. And I
Yeah.
would love to talk about, Paul, your amazing artwork. There's a few things
Oh,
behind you, and it's oil on canvas. Please
mm.
share about that. What got you into that, and the website where everyone can look at that. I've looked at your, oh my gosh, your artwork's amazing. Share
Oh.
some information about that, please.
Well, I'll tell you, I still think it's a fledgling thing, but I know it's within me. So, but I love painting because it's an incredibly peaceful experience. I'm sure any artist, musician, or whatever knows what I'm talking about, or craftsperson. Um, it's like a oneness. I remember painting once. and it's just simple blue and white. It was all it was. And I had this incredible experience of being one with everything as I did it. It just went totally silent, but I was totally present. So I could think and have a conversation or anything with myself, but I felt this incredible unity of everything. And I said to myself, wow, I should do this more often. So, but the way it happened, I suppose what woke it up within me was a teacher of mine said, you've been a painter before, in a different life. And if you do a bit or have a few lessons or whatever, which I haven't done, by the way, whoops, um, you'll find that, it flows. So I was visiting family after my walk around the world. I went to Wanganui, my hometown, and we have a big fun Christmas. We play cricket on the backyard and everything, which we call the back lawn. And
I love it.
and anyway, my hip was aching for about 3 days. I was really suffering. I couldn't play properly, which is really annoying when you're playing your brothers. You gotta get in there.
You want to beat
And
them.
I just thought, oh, blow this. I'm gonna go back to Auckland where I was living, and I'm gonna do this painting. So I hitchhiked actually back up to Auckland. I went straight into a craft shop, bought some paints and a canvas, and I went to the place I was staying and set it up quietly 5 nights in a row for about an hour or two. And I didn't sit deciding to meditate. I was just meditating. I would sit, and I still do this. I look at the canvas, sometimes for half an hour, sometimes for weeks. I mean, I do other things. I'm not just sitting there for weeks.
Yeah.
But I will wait, and then it the idea comes out of me, and then it's my job to put the brush in my hand and put the paint on there, and then to keep the mind quiet so that you can be instinctual with it, not to. If I try and paint something and think about it, it's a very, very basic thing. But I can't really paint things. I probably can, but I've never tried. I just get the idea and then I just do it. And sometimes I
Ah,
get a vision of just the first stroke. So I do that stroke,
yeah. You
you
put
know.
that, what you're feeling on the canvas. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Well, someone called it soul painting.
Oh, I love
So
that.
comes from the
Yeah.
soul. And then things appear in my paintings. Like there's three faces and a wolf, and that one up there, which is a photograph of my first ever painting. And I didn't tell you, but I actually had my life saved by a wolf when I walked through Argentina.
Oh, I want to hear
Yeah.
that. I love wolves. I love
Okay.
wolves so much. Oh my,
Yeah, well, the wolf kept appearing in different ways, but I was walking and I was absolutely exhausted in the middle of the countryside. It was probably 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. I don't know. I didn't wear a watch, and still don't. And I had nothing. I'd walked all day. I was absolutely exhausted. I was towards the end of this 10-month walk around the world. And it was a lot lighter than it was when I left, and I was freezing cold, and I was just walking along like a zombie. And I realized I'm at a crossroads. I was heading for a crossroads, which I thought was a couple of kilometers away. Turned out it was about 30 kilometers or 10 or 15 miles or something. And I realized I'm gonna collapse. I've got no energy. I've got zero, and I it's too cold to stop. So this was the other kind of crossroads. And so I just was trudging along like a walking corpse. And I suddenly came into my mind a wolf. I suddenly started thinking about a wolf. And I'm not sure about how long this was, but I turned around and there's this huge wolf on the road behind me walking walking across. I'm walking and it's walking across this way. And we both stopped and just looked into each other's eyes very calmly. And then I turned forward and it turned and it crossed the road a little bit more. And I kept walking. And then I turned and it turned and we looked into each other's eyes. And then I walked a bit more and then it disappeared. I turned and it disappeared into the shrub. There's no trees, there's no houses, nothing. This place is flat. It's called Corrientes. It's like it's been flattened by a laser.
Yeah.
And um, I just kept walking, and then I suddenly felt anxious. I thought, is this thing hungry? Because it was quite a big, mangy thing. And I felt the natural. And then after a while, I realized, well, no, it's gone. But then I also realized this had boosted my adrenaline
Yeah.
and given me the energy to keep going. I just kept going. I was still a zombie, but I was alive again somehow.
Got you
Gave me that little
through.
bit of boost.
Oh my
And
God.
then 10 or 15 minutes later, this car came along, hadn't been a single car in maybe 4 hours. It's a rural road, not a main highway. And this car went past me and I didn't have the energy to lift my arm, but it saw me. He screeched to stop, jumped out, looked over his car. I said, hey, he said, hola, probably.
Oh,
And he said, come on, get in. The guy had a full set of McDonald's burgers and chips and fries, rather, and Coke. Gave me the whole lot. I just woofed it down
oh,
and fell
Paul.
asleep and woke up at sunrise.
Oh, Paul, that's a great
Yeah.
story. Oh my God. Oh, we have about a minute left in the show.
Oh,
Will you
mm.
please share with everyone your website and
Yes.
what last quick message you'd like to give
Yep.
them today? Oh,
Well, you can find me on lightbodytraining.com, Light, lightbodytraining.com. And you can email me. I do private sessions, that sort of thing. And my painting is pspaintingbypaulstewart.com. Most welcome to have a look there. And my message, I think my story is often in my message, and there's a lot of people will hear their own stimulation from that, I hope. And well, I know. And I think re-energize your light as much as you can. Energize the light within you. Know that you are light. I am light. You can say it. And just energize it and be still within yourself and think, okay, how can I express my power today? How can I experience my success today? Questions like this that take you into the question creates the answer. So what answer do you want? Come up with a question. Don't get distracted by all these things. The world's evolving. But it comes from within. So do that part first, and then get out and do your best in your day. That's
oh,
enough.
oh, Paul, thank you. What
Oh, it's
a
a pleasure.
powerful message. Oh my gosh, this has been so wonderful. Thank you so much.
It's a real pleasure,
Everybody
Paula.
out there,
To
love,
everyone.
hugs, and blessings. Thank you for joining us, Paul. Love, hugs, and blessings. Thank you so much.